Okay, so for Unit 2 in English 3, we are going to be studying a unit called Conscience and the Crucible. Okay, so conscience is something that is usually tied to a moral decision, but something that guides us on a daily basis. Our conscience helps us decide right from wrong. So as we are reading Arthur Miller's play, The Crucible, we will discuss our definitions of a conscience and sort of how we're seeing it work out in this play. Okay, before we can do those things, there are some unit vocabulary words that we need to make sure we have a grasp on, okay? The first one is conflict. So a conflict is a struggle or clash between opposing characters, forces, or emotions. So you know for any good story that there has to be a good and evil, or there has to be a right and wrong. Okay, so that is the conflict. We have to figure out who is at conflict in the crucible. The second thing that we're going to need to look at is the characterization of the people involved, okay? So that is the process by which the writer reveals the personality of a character. So Arthur Miller, as we are reading The Crucible, is probably not just going to tell you everything you need to know about a character in one paragraph. We are going to have to learn along the way what we know about that character. That could be through his or her actions, the way he or she speaks, and the ways that they respond to situations. That is all going to reflect the process by which the writer is writing and characterizing specific people. The third thing we want to look at is motivation. So you guys know that every day you make decisions and every day you are motivated by something to make you make those decisions, okay? So motivation is simply the reasons for or forces behind the action of a character. So once we have figured out what we know about a character through the characterization, we have to figure out why they are acting the way that they are, okay? What motivates them or sort of kickstarts the ways that they respond. Our next word is a foil, so not aluminum foil, but a character that sets off another character by strong contrast. Okay, so if we have one character in the crucible that we know is very, very godly or always tries to do right, there's probably going to be a foil to that character that is always making the wrong decision. Okay, or if we know that there is someone who is always telling the truth, there may be a foil to that character of someone who is always telling a lie. Okay, so a foil is simply some character that sets off another character in contrast by what we know about him or her. Our last word is logical fallacy. And if you forget what fallacy means, try to remember that it means false. Okay, so the F-A-L there should help you. But a logical fallacy is an error in reasoning. Okay, so if I say that you relate to class and therefore you don't care about my class at all, that is a logical fallacy, because just because you're late for class doesn't directly mean that you don't care about it, okay? So there was an error in the reasoning that I had to make that decision. All right, so as we're looking at the Crucible and the Salem witch trials, we're going to have to sort of figure out if everything in the court trials is legitimate or if there's some aspect of logical fallacy.